The night before my sister's wedding, I went to sleep in the guest room. My heart felt full because I had spent many days helping her plan her big day. I helped with the food, the seating chart, and even fixed her rehearsal dress when it ripped. On the small table beside the bed, I left a half-finished card I was writing for her. I wasn't asked to give a toast at the wedding, but I told myself that it was fine. I was just happy to be part of her special day. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep. Around 3 a.m., I woke up suddenly. My chest was tight, and there was a sharp burning pain on my face. At first, I didn't understand what was happening. I touched my cheek and felt something hot and wet. Then I tasted blood in my mouth. When my eyes focused, I saw them, my parents, standing over me. In my father's hand was my sister's heavy silver flower vase. My mother didn't even look surprised. "Serves you right for trying to upstage your sister," my mother hissed. "Let's see how you'll look in photos tomorrow with that face." I choked on my words. "What? What are you talking about?" My father laughed. Not a kind laugh, a cold, mean laugh. "You should have stayed invisible," he said. "But no, you had to wear makeup. You had to stand near the groom's mother. You think you're someone. But you're not. You're nothing. You're just the background." I tried to stand, but my vision blurred from the pain. My lip was bleeding. My eye was swelling fast. "Stay down," Mom said coldly. "You already ruined the dress rehearsal just by being there. Tomorrow is her big day. Not yours." I stared at them in shock. These were the people who raised me. The same people who once told me stories at night and held my hand when there was thunder. Now, they raised their glasses from the rehearsal dinner, smiled at each other, and toasted. "To peace and perfection," Dad said, as if nothing had happened. I crawled to the bathroom, locked the door, and turned on the light. My hands were shaking. When I saw my face in the mirror, I screamed. My cheek was red and swollen. There was a cut above my eyebrow. Blood ran down from my mouth. I looked like someone who had been attacked by a stranger, but it was my own parents. I sat on the cold bathroom floor holding a towel to my face. I didn't cry. Not a single tear. That scared me more than the injury. I felt nothing. Just cold. In the morning, I heard my sister banging on the door. "You better not make a scene," she shouted. "Don't ruin this day." Mom's voice joined hers. "You either come out and wear the dull gray dress we picked for you, or you leave quietly." I opened the door slowly. When they saw my face, they gasped. "Oh my God," my sister muttered. "You look. Jesus. What did you do to yourself?" Before I could speak, Mom snapped. "She probably fell. She's clumsy. Always has been." Then she leaned close and whispered, "And no one will believe you over us." She pushed a concealer stick into my palm like a threat. An hour later, I stood at the back of the church. My face was covered with makeup, but the bruises still showed. People turned to look. Some were confused. Some were concerned. But not one person asked me if I was okay. During the wedding vows, Mom leaned over and whispered, "Smile. At least pretend to be useful." Dad chuckled and said, "She's lucky we even let her come." That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not fully broken, but sharp, like glass. They thought I would stay small and quiet forever. But I was done being their background. The next morning, the sunlight hurt my face. Every small movement made the pain worse. I wrapped a scarf around my bruises and went downstairs. Mom looked at me and gasped dramatically. "Oh no. What happened to your face?" she said loudly, so everyone around could hear. "You really should be careful walking in the dark." Dad sipped his coffee, smiling. "Maybe clumsy runs in the family," he said. I wanted to scream the truth. I wanted to hold up the vase and shout, "This is what you did to me." But I didn't. Because I knew what would happen. They would lie. They always lied. They'd make me look crazy. And nobody would believe me. So I stayed quiet and watched. At the wedding venue, a beautiful lakeside hall with white roses and shiny chandeliers, I stayed at the edge of the crowd. My sister walked down the aisle in her bright white dress, holding the arm of the same man who hurt me the night before. My parents smiled proudly, pretending to be perfect. I saw people looking at me. Some whispered that maybe I fell. Others said maybe I was jealous. No one asked me for the truth. After the ceremony, my sister's husband gave a speech. "You raised the most beautiful woman I've ever met," he said to my parents. Everyone clapped. Dad turned toward me and raised his glass. "To family," he said with a smirk. "Even the ones who try not to ruin photos." Everyone laughed. My stomach twisted. Then my mom whispered loudly to a group of women, "She used to be pretty before she stopped caring for herself. Always wanted the spotlight." They giggled. That hurt worse than the vase. In that moment, my phone buzzed. A message from my friend Sarah at the library, "You okay?" I typed back, "Not really. But soon." For the rest of the day, I walked like a ghost. I watched my parents toast again and again. I listened to their lies. And then, slowly, an idea formed inside me. My parents cared more about their image than anything else. They loved how they looked to other people more than they loved me. So I decided to take away the thing they loved most, their perfect image. Later that night, after the wedding party ended, I quietly went into the bridal suite. My sister's phone was open on the table. One tap and I saw everything: messages, pictures from the bachelor party, and texts between her and the wedding planner. Then I checked Dad's phone. He never locked it. Inside, there were hundreds of messages about money and secret deals. I opened Mom's private email. She had been lying to family members for years, saying I was sick and begging for money in my name. She took it all. By the end of the night, I had taken pictures of everything. Quiet. Careful. Perfect. When I walked downstairs, they were still laughing. My father raised his glass to me. "You can smile now, sweetheart," he said. "It's all over." Mom added, "You'll never be the pretty one. But at least you didn't ruin anything." My sister smirked. "Guess that vase knocked some sense into you." They all laughed. But this time, I smiled too. Not because I forgave them, but because they didn't know what was coming. That night, I uploaded everything. I scheduled emails to my father's business partners, my mother's donors, and my sister's new in-laws. By the next morning, the mask they had worn for years would begin to crack. At 5 a.m., I left my room quietly. The living room smelled like champagne. My parents were asleep on the couch. My sister was snoring in an armchair. I stood there and looked at them. They thought they had one. But they didn't know they had built their whole life on lies, and lies don't last forever. I had set 3 email drops. One showed my dad's fake payments. Another showed my mom's lies to donors. And the third exposed my sister's secret messages. I went to my son's room and touched his shoulder gently. "Sweetheart, time to go," I whispered. He opened his eyes slowly. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere warm. Somewhere no one lies to us," I said. He nodded, trusting me completely. We left before anyone woke up. At 9 a.m., as we waited at the bus stop, my phone started buzzing non-stop. Messages. Calls. Notifications. Dad's clients were angry. Mom's donors were shocked. My sister's new in-laws were furious. Their perfect mask was falling apart. By noon, Dad's company was in trouble. One of his partners leaked everything online. Mom's fake charity was exposed. And my sister's new family canceled their honeymoon. None of them called me. But that night, my phone buzzed with one message from Dad. "You think this fixes anything?" I typed back slowly. "No. It just shows the truth." And I turned off my phone. Weeks passed. My son and I moved into a small apartment above a kind woman's bakery. Her name was Clara. She didn't ask for details. She just said, "New start" means no explanations. I helped her with the shop. My son started at a new school. He made a friend. One afternoon, he came home with a drawing of the two of us standing under a big yellow sun. "Mom, I made you look happy," he said. I laughed. A real laugh. A free laugh. 2 months later, I received an envelope in the mail. Inside was a photograph. My parents sat in their once beautiful living room. It was almost empty now. My sister sat beside them, crying. Across the photo, in my mom's handwriting, were the words, "Are you happy now?" I pinned it to the refrigerator. Not because I wanted to gloat, but to remind myself, happiness isn't watching people fall. It's knowing they can't hurt you anymore. One evening, Clara sat next to me on the porch. "Do you ever feel like you went too far?" she asked softly. I shook my head. "No. I think I finally went far enough." She smiled. "Good. Just don't look back too long. Even revenge loses its shine if you stare at it." A year later, I opened my own small cafe. I named it Glass and Grace. People often asked why. I'd smile and say, because both can break, but only one reflects light afterward. My son laughed more now. He was growing in a home without fear. And at night, when I walked past a newspaper stand, sometimes I saw my parents' names in tiny letters. Another headline about their lies. They used to toast to perfection. Now they only tasted regret. I didn't destroy them. I just showed the world the mirror they had once smashed against me. And this time, I was the one holding it steady. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Also comment where you're watching from.